Welcome to Sports Talk with L-Beasley. It is Monday afternoon here for me in Detroit, Michigan. As you all know, Monday is typically my Sunday football roundup recap or recap roundup, where I recap on all the games that happened this previous Sunday, give you my brief analysis. Sometimes it's not so brief, but nonetheless, I give you my analysis on certain games that caught my attention and just kind of, like I said, break it down on my thoughts and if I like it, if I dislike it, why I liked it, why I didn't dislike it. And today's no different. I'm going to do the exact same thing. So without any further delay, let's get right into it. And the first game that I really want to discuss is the Washington Redskins versus the Cleveland Browns, mainly just due to the fact that this was a game going in that, a lot of people wanted to watch. We didn't know if RG3 was going to play, and then the decision was made that RG3 was not going to play. They felt it was best to rest him and just, basically just get him ready to go. And looking at it, I didn't feel like that was a bad decision. RG3 is your playmaker. He's your star. He's your quarterback. He's your leader. You don't want him to be unhealthy at any point in time. Right now, you have a chance to make the playoffs, and rightfully so. You want him to be at his best. And the great thing is that you have a good backup quarterback, in Kirk Cousins. A lot of people I've heard have compared him to Flynn's situation, Matt Flynn's situation with the whole situation of, being a good backup for Aaron Rodgers for so many years. And then obviously going to Seattle. And, if you want to use that example, you can. But, my boy Russell Wilson, beat him out for the job, and rightfully so. But, some people have already been, basically, saying Kirk Cousins is like another Flynn, good backup who will possibly get traded later and get some, some better opportunities. And rightfully so. But, going into this game, Washington Redskins end up winning this game 38-21. Kirk Cousins had 2 touchdowns. He had some turnovers and no question about that. But he played fair. He played well. And, for anybody who saw this kid in college at MSU, me being a Michigan girl, obviously I saw him, when he was at Michigan State and things of this nature. I wasn't surprised at all by this game, and more than anything, like I said, RG3 has been able to, even Kirk Cousins was impressive yesterday, but the fact that this team just as a whole has just turned around completely, it's almost similar to how Denver has turned around with Peyton. The defense has stepped up. The running game has stepped up. And that's what's so amazing about this Redskins team is when I look at them, you got Alfred Morris stepping up in the backfield. You got Pierre Garçon being back has been huge for the Washington Redskins. And on top of that, then your defense is hype. Your defense is ready to go. They ready to stop teams to get their quarterback back on the field, whether it's RG3 or it's Kirk Cousins. And that's what you really want to see. And that's what I've been impressed with. Like I said, similar how, like I said, with Denver, like I said, Peyton Manning, is he a beast? No question about it. But the fact that he's been able to impact the running game, been able to impact the defensive game, is amazing. That's kind of feel what RG3 has done for this Washington Redskins team. And I thought his comments were interesting that, he wanted to play and, they were told him he couldn't, but I think that's his competitiveness coming out. Like I said, no player, at least in my mind, I hated missing games when I played ball. So I know that, any real competitor hates missing any game for any reason. And, but at the end of the day, he has to understand this is for the best of his career. And quite frankly, going into the end of this season, they kind of have an option. You could kind of play Cousins against the Eagles if you want, and then in that last week, you could make sure RG3 is ready for Dallas. That's a decision you have to make. But like I said, the Eagles are trying to be somebody's spoiler in the playoffs. They're trying to be somebody's spoiler in the NFC. They're trying to spoil somebody's playoffs hopes. And it's going to be real interesting just to see who it is. Is it Washington? Is it the Giants? You just really got to see who could it be? Whose season are they going to spoil with a win possibly? So, like I said, that's just something to think about going into the Washington game, Eagles game when Washington plays the Eagles. Just, maybe start Cousins. And like I said, obviously if RG3 is ready, go ahead and play him. But like I said, at the same time, if he's still a little banged up or you just don't feel comfortable, hey, don't push it. And like I said, he's a valuable piece to your team, so I wouldn't push it. If not, go ahead and start Cousins. Cousins has showed you he can lead this team and he knows what he's doing. Which, like I said, anybody who saw this kid at MSU was not surprised at all by this game by Kirk Cousins, not at all. I know everybody wants me to talk about this. The Patriots and the 49ers Sunday Night Football. Why can't Sunday Night Football always be like that? I mean, well, not always, because quite frankly, I was quite irritated for 3 quarters. It was that 31-3 crap, and then obviously 4th quarter came, it was a totally different story. But from a New England perspective, New England's poor defense and offense clearly cost them this game early on. But at the same time, I feel like when you're the Patriots, when you make a comeback like that, when you do 21 unanswered points, 28 straight points allowed. Well, you scored 28 points, 21 went unanswered by the 49ers. You don't give up, and like I said, you lost this game off stupid stuff. penalties that set you back on the 10-yard line off a punt return. Defensive mistakes. When Crabtree scored, basically, I guess you could say the game-winning touchdown off a curl play. Why is there no safety back? Crabtree is excellent at getting. First of all, your secondary is horrible. We're talking about the Patriots here, and then on top of that, that Crabtree is somebody who's this season has made a name for herself in breaking tackles and getting loose and getting yards after catch. That whole 49ers offense has. So why wouldn't you have a safety back? I felt like that, and like I said, with the stupid penalties, the holding penalty on the punt return or the kickoff, that was costly. Like I said, just some of the play calling, not catching the pass, throwing it over my man's head, just little things cost in that game that they ultimately could have won. With that being said, as much as I like the Patriots, the fact that this great defense and offense of the 49ers allowed this comeback bothers me. Kaepernick played wonderful. 4 touchdowns, only had that 1 interception. He showed me real nice leadership, and he showed me, some nice leadership against adversity, which, like I said, to me it's not surprising because I saw him do this at Nevada, but nonetheless, it's still impressive in its own right. Like I said, to beat Tom Brady in Foxborough, hey, I'm not taking nothing away from the kid. The kid did an amazing job. Like I said, the unanswered points, that's not all on Kaepernick. That's on them as a team, so I'm not going to make that about Kaepernick. But just the fact, like I said, this defense is supposed to be one of the greats. So is this offense, and like I said, you gotta take advantage of games like this because this could have really went the wrong way. I honestly think if the Patriots did it the right way. Like I said, it's nothing to take away from the 49ers, but just looking at this game, if I'm supposed to be the team who can win the Super Bowl, that can't happen. You can't allow teams to come back 31-3 in one quarter, basically. A quarter in like 3 minutes of another quarter. Come on, let's be real. That was ridiculous. And that's personally, like I said, what got me. And I'm not a 49ers fan. I like plenty of players on the 49ers. But just, like I said, they showed me a lot of toughness and resolve in the last 10 minutes of the game they did. Because, looking back at it, they showed me a lot, just like I said, composing themselves, not getting crazy about it, just staying composed. Yeah, we let them come back. We wrong for that, but you know what? We're going to handle our business. We're going to win the game. And that was impressive in its own right. But just looking forward towards the future, going against teams in the NFC and possibly in the Super Bowl, that could come back to bite you. And this is why you continue to score. This is like I said, you have to know against Tom Brady. Come on, let's be real. Once this offense get going, talking about the Patriots here, we know it's hard to stop this team. Let's just be real. So, looking at this game, those were really my thoughts. Like I said, no disrespect to the 49ers, but like I said, supposedly had this great offense and defense, which I have no problem saying they're a great offense, and I have no problem saying they're a great defense. But the fact that they allowed this 31-3 comeback, and you're supposed to be possible Super Bowl champ, you allow 28 straight points to be scored, and 21 of them went unanswered. When you have a great defense and a great offense, bothers me. The same way it bothered people with Houston. Now, Houston, I'm not comparing Houston to San Francisco, saying they both got great offenses and defenses, but a lot of people were, thrown off by Houston when they played, last week against the Patriots and got blown out because they were like, whoa, how are you supposed to be the best team in the NFL or one of the top teams and you can't compete against the Patriots? Well, like I said, against the 49ers, I have to ask myself the same question. How come you can't hold a lead? How come you can't score? How come, you couldn't finish this game strong? Like I said, at the end of the day, a win is a win. Like I said, they showed me a lot in the last 10 minutes, and like I said, that was impressive in his own right. Kaepernick was amazing. 4 touchdowns, only 1 interception. Amazing. Like I said, his adversity, his leadership. Not surprised I saw him do it in Nevada. But, like I said, just looking at this from a 49ers perspective, like I said, even if you are a 49er fan, I think you gotta be a little just irritated by that. Just a little bit. I know I'm a little irritated by it personally. Like I said, just looking at it. Like I said, I know Patriots offense, I'm not saying like it was the Cleveland Browns here, but still, that's not an excuse when you have a great offense and you got a great defense. Oh, well, it's Tom Brady. Okay, so what? You still got to play the game. It's Tom Brady. Tom Brady does great things, but you had this game won. You caused 4 turnovers. It was 31-3, and you let them come all the way back. And quite frankly, you could have lost this game if it hadn't been for you showing that toughness and resolving the last minutes of the game. And on top of that, Patriots shooting themselves in the foot with stupid things like penalties and not catching the ball and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, it was a win. Like I said, they showed me some good things. I saw some bad things I didn't like, but at the end of the day, it was, like I said, 49ers clinched their playoff berth. Good for them. We'll see what's going on with the Patriots next week and things of that nature. But like I said, good game overall. Just those are my thoughts on it. Just had to break it down. Broncos and the Ravens. People wanted to know somebody of my fans asked me to discuss this. Mainly with Baltimore, my concern right now, other than their offense, which I'll get on in a minute, is Smith. With him getting a concussion, right now this could be a little tough because if he doesn't get cleared, obviously he's a key piece of this Raven team, and if he's not able to play, that's going to hurt this offense more than it already has. And as far as the Ravens, Flacco continues with his decision making, early. With this game. Looking at this game, Flacco killed his team with turnovers, with bad decisions. But at the same time, I still feel it's a thing of play calling. You got to get the ball in Ray Rice's hands more. I still don't like the fact that he's not getting the ball as much as I would like. And, Ed Reed obviously showed a lot of frustration. Understandable. He's a student of the game. And when he sees these corners, not paying attention or just not making the right reads, it's going to frustrate him. As far as him getting leaped over, he said it was due to flu symptoms. Ed Reed just admits that you got jumped over. It's okay. We're not going to crucify you for it. You're still one of the best safeties ever to play this game, so it's not like we're going to crucify you for it. But, I heard that a little while ago that it was flu symptoms. That's why he got leaped over in the game. If you didn't see it, go look it up on YouTube. But, this offense is really bothering me. Like, even defensive-wise, this was a little bit worrisome. But, that's just Peyton Manning being Peyton Manning. But offensively, like I said, this has always been a concern for this team going in. Can his team step up when needed offensively? And right now, they aren't. But like we said, if they do get to the playoffs, or if they are in the playoffs, we know at any point in time they could be a totally different ballgame. Speaking of playoffs and totally different ballgame, Falcons versus the New York Giants. And going into this game, I felt like the Falcons made a statement, similar to how the Texans wanted to make a statement this week. And I'll get into the Colts and Texans a little bit. But Falcons versus Giants. One thing I said about the Falcons last week was defensively, I feel like they give up the big play. They have good defensive pieces. They do. But I always feel like they give up the big play. They don't make you work for your drive. Even though they're capable of doing it, they just don't. And I didn't feel like they did that this week against the Giants. I felt like they made them, every drive had to be earned. They didn't give up the big play, clearly from the score. They played better as a defense as a whole. Because like I said earlier, and I've said this so many times before, Falcons don't have a problem scoring. That's not a problem. Sometimes they have an issue getting Michael Turner going, which causes their offense to have problems. But generally, their problem sometimes turns into some defensive issues. And like I said, most time it's defensive issues just giving up the big play so quickly. So like I said, for them to come and play good for 4 quarters, they came ready to play for 4 quarters. And like I said, this really looked like to me like a statement game. We want to show people that Carolina game, we didn't come out. And I said this on my last show. You can go back and look. Like I said, not taking anything away from Carolina, but it literally looked like Atlanta came out there and just said, we played Carolina, we beat them already, and took their foot off the gas. And sometimes great teams, unfortunately, do that, or good teams, great teams, bad teams, whatever you want to call them. They do that. But I stand by what I said before with the Falcons. Now I'm going to stand by it till they do the right thing. Until you show me something in the playoffs, I really don't care what you do. You can go undefeated in the regular season. As long as you win some playoffs as long as you get past the first round, we cool. But like I said, I've been putting money on Atlanta for like the last 2-3 years, and they disappoint me every time when it comes to the playoffs. I'm just saying. So like I said, I like certain people on the Falcons. I love Matt Ryan. I'm just saying, I love Julio Jones. Boy, right there. But like I said, I would like to see the Falcons be successful in the playoffs. I've been rooting for y'all for the last 3 years. Come on, help us out. But that's what I'm looking for. Like I said, I don't really care what you do in the regular season at this point. Like I said, finish strong. Yeah, of course. I definitely want to just continue to see improvement. But like I said, till the playoffs come with the Falcons, I don't really have much to say. Like I said, Carolina game, I didn't blow it out of proportion like some people in the media did. It just wasn't that big of a deal to me, mainly because I kind of expected it. But just moving on from that. And even from the Giants, I think this offense is a question mark. Eli threw for under 200 yards and had 2 interceptions, and obviously Eli's had a pretty good season, had some number of time, as far as numbers, he's had some times when you look at him, you're like, what's going on with Eli? But I've said this so many times about this offense. This offense is so questionable right now. Either they can get down the field and they're driving down the field easily, but then they can't score in the red zone. They can't get a touchdown, so they have to settle for field goals. And if they can't do that, then they can't score at all. And some of it has to do with this running game being non-existent or inconsistent. Other parts of it is just the inconsistent pass game due to injuries or just not reading the coverage. And like I said, in my mind, this Giants offense right now is a question mark for me. And I've said that so many times before. Like I said, nothing against the Giants. Like I said, we all know as soon as the playoffs come, it's like something snaps and they're okay. But, I know Giants like pressure, obviously, because every time they win the Super Bowl, time conference job is on the line. But like I said, just looking at this offense right now, I'm a little concerned. Like I said, even before, when they're able to drive down the field so easily, they don't take advantage of the opportunities down the field. They have to keep settling for field goals, and they're allowing teams to stay in it. And like I said, on other times when they just can't drive at all, they can't even get the ball down the field, or they're turning the ball over, and that was just a cause of concern personally for me. So I just wanted to bring that up. Also about another team making a statement, Colts versus the Houston Texans. I also felt like the Texans made a statement in this game, very similar. We want to come out and show people that Patriots game, it wasn't that, I'm not gonna say it was a fluke, but we're still ready to go. We're hurt by the way we lost, and we are irritated, and we're ready to come out and show teams that this is what we can do. And clearly, the Colts and Giants are two different types of teams. So I'm not trying to compare their statement games or anything like that. I'm just saying the mentality in which both teams came out, in my opinion, were both statement games. That's being said about the Texans. Like I said last week, Patriots annihilated their secondary. Let's be real. I'm not going to really talk about my Detroit Lions, but my Detroit Lions annihilated that secondary. It just so happened that Houston was able to win in a comeback that it wasn't made too huge of a deal out of, but not to mention it was the Detroit Lions. But like I said, anybody who watched that game knew that secondary, I mean, not even just that game, other games with the Texans, we know that secondary, is a little questionable. We know that. So looking at it, like I said, that game wasn't, I'm not going to say it was a surprise because I didn't expect them to lay down that easily, and I didn't expect the Patriots defense to be as good as they were, and I didn't expect Patriots offensive line to be able to stop J.J. Watt that easily. And speaking of J.J. Watt, he was great in that game, and that had a lot to do with why the Colts struggled offensively. Andrew Luck was pressured, which was led by Watt. And, they came in ready. Like I said, Texans looked like they were, furious about. That's how Texans look. Texans looked like they were furious about that game against the Patriots, and they were coming out here like, we ready. We ready to go. There's no doubt in our minds we ready to go, and we got to show it. Like I said, the Colts really killed themselves with early mistakes. Looking at the game, just early mistakes, not catching the ball, fumbling the ball. Like I said, they had opportunities, but at the same time, while I felt like the Texans made a nice little statement game, I also felt at the same time they didn't take advantage of their opportunities. Because looking at this game, 29-17, I'll be quite honest with you. Texas had an opportunity to really blow this game out the water. They actually allowed the Colts, looking at the score, some people like 29-17, they didn't really allow them to stick around. But they kind of did. If you saw the game or you saw the highlights of this game, they actually allowed the Colts to stick around. Colts just couldn't take advantage of it. Like I said, with early mistakes, and then later on they had mistakes. But the Texans, like I said, they came out with a statement game, and they showed me some stuff. But they also showed me, hey, y'all still didn't capitalize fully on the lead. It was 20-10 at halftime. It was 23-17 early in the third quarter, or in the mid of the third quarter. That's still a close game where you should have been able to blow this team out the water, especially looking at how many mistakes the Colts made. But like I said, at the end of the day, it was a win. Good win by the Texans. Andrew Luck, keep your head up. Just continue to persevere. One thing I love about Andrew Luck, he continues to just keep his team in the game always. Similar to RG3. Similar to Russell Wilson. Obviously, Russell Wilson's been helping his team blow out teams lately. But, just like I said, continues to make players around him better, which is why I love him. RG3, Russell Wilson, these young quarterbacks, similar to the reasons I love Peyton and Thomas, because they make the others around them better, not just their receivers, not just the running backs, not just the offense, but their defense, and that's something to be said about a special leader in the quarterback. Just saying. So like I said, good win. It's getting safe to say that J.J. Watt may be undoubtedly the defensive player of the year, 19.5 sacks on the year so far. We still got 2 games left in the season, so you never know. And another thing Coach struggled with in this game was stopping Foster. They couldn't stop Foster. Foster ran all over them, unfortunately, which was huge in that game. So just wanted to bring that up. Bears and Packers. I really didn't have nothing to really say about this game. In my opinion, the Bears defense, mainly the secondary, was horrendous in this game. Packers, they played pretty well offensively and defensively, but at the same time, they still couldn't improve the lead, and they didn't. And Chicago just didn't take advantage of it. Chicago had opportunities to win this game, to come back and win it. They didn't take it, and Packers allowed them to stick around, which wasn't good to see. 2 questionable offensive pass interference calls on the Bears. I know that was a big talk. Like, they hadn't got those, they probably would have won again. But you don't get them, you don't get them. Let's not dwell on the past. But that was just my thoughts on that. Seattle on the Bills, I don't know. Just Russell Wilson being Russell Wilson. 13th quarterback in history to rush for 3 touchdowns in the game. That's just Russell Wilson being Russell Wilson. Y'all gonna learn to listen to me when I tell y'all about these players in the draft. I'm just saying, learn to listen. I'm just saying. Rams and Vikings, that was a big game as far as running backs go because Steven Jackson surpassed 10,000 rushing yards for his career. That's a great accomplishment for him, so congratulations to Steven Jackson. Of course, AP, Adrian Peterson, had 212 yards with 1 touchdown yesterday. Did great. And from what I hear, he's about 295 yards from breaking a record, so that's huge for him. And just, the way he's bounced back after torn ACL. That's just amazing. And I'll probably talk more about torn ACLs tomorrow because I know everybody wants to hear my thoughts on Ricky Rubio and his comeback so far and all these other things. So I'll bring that up probably tomorrow. And some people wanted me to discuss the Saints. A couple Saints fans actually hit me up and said they wanted me to talk about the Saints. Saints finally looked like they just came ready to play the game. Drew Brees finally stopped with the turnovers and threw actual touchdowns. So threw 4 touchdowns, 307 yards. Josh Freeman struggled on the other hand, threw 4 interceptions for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They just look ready to come out. They just, but we all know Tampa and the Saints have been kind of similar. You never know which team you're really gonna get this season. Just wanted to bring that up real briefly. And then, of course, going into today's Monday Night Football game, this is always something people want to talk about. I don't know if anybody wants to talk about it today because it's the New York Jets and the Tennessee Titans. But at the end of the day, going into this game with the New York Jets and even the Tennessee Titans, if I'm Tennessee, my question for y'all is, can you get Chris Johnson going? Chris Johnson continues to have an up and down season. But his explosive and big playability are things that should be concerned for the Jets defense, mainly due to the fact that the Jets run defense is one of the worst, if not the worst, in the NFL. I think actually they're near the bottom of the NFL when it comes to their run defense. So we know, hey, if you can, the Titans have a pretty good blocking O-line, and if I was them, I actually might utilize some 2 tight end game power run formatting. If I was them, I might utilize some 2 tight end power run formatting if I'm the Titans just to get them going. Like I said, you got a pretty good O-line. So if you can get Chris Johnson going, that's definitely something to think about. Like I said, we all know the Jets really can't defend the run, or they haven't showed us that this season. If they can, we haven't seen it. So if I'm the Titans, I want to get Chris Johnson going. If you can get Chris Johnson going, you might have a chance to win this game. Going through the air, obviously, that's the Jets defense honestly was helped them this far. Like I said, are they the best defense? No, but they keep their teams in games. And just going into this, like I said, you could try it through the air. Like I said, you never know with Blocker. Then you got Hasselbeck. I know Chris Johnson has been more effective this season with Matt Hasselbeck, a quarterback, averaging 6.2 yards per game. But like I said, just looking into this, and even with the Jets, you just want to see how they're gonna play. Obviously, they added Braylon Edwards. The person who called him an idiot the day before they went and got him. But just be interesting to see, if he does get a chance to get on the field, how he's gonna play. I don't imagine him being any different, but hey, it's the NFL. You never know. But you really want to just see how the Jets offense is gonna play as a whole. Like I said, defense has not really been a question, it's been an offense, from Mark Sanchez, Tim Tebow, Gregory Elroy, Braylon Edwards, the running game. Just period overall, the play calling. So we'll see how this game goes down. But at the end of the day, like I said, I feel very confident the Titans could get a running game going. There's no reason they shouldn't be able to compete for this win. But if they can't get that going, I would be really surprised if they actually are able to win this game if they can't get Chris Johnson. Well, but hey, it's the NFL. It is the Jets. You just never know these days. It's just the way the world is. And then moving on to the NBA real quick, couple games to look out for. Mainly one game in particular, the New York Knicks versus the Houston Rockets. And mainly this is just a big game because Jeremy Lin is coming back to Madison Square Garden. And, for some people this is, who cares? And then for other people it's, why? He's coming back, so I don't really, for me, I'm more interested in watching James Harden and the rest of the Houston Rockets as a team, and I also want to just continue to watch this Knicks team and see how well they play. I know there's been rumors going around that Mark Stoudemire might be able to start practicing tomorrow. So hopefully once, like I said, that's my big question with the Knicks. Very proud of the Knicks. I love what I'm seeing. Jason Kidd, the impact he has on this team both offensively and defensively, is amazing, which is one of the reasons I love Jason Kidd. Felton's having a pretty good season, but I believe a lot of it has to do with Jason Kidd and his ability. Obviously Carmelo Anthony's having an MVP season. Just this whole team as a whole and just point blank period has been playing great, which as they should with that roster. But my biggest question will remain until Mark Stoudemire gets back. Whether he said he's gonna take the bench role if a team needs him to do it, but actions speak louder than words for me. And quite frankly, you may say it, you may take it, but does it really fit you? Are you really ready to help in that way? And can you help in that way? And hopefully you can, because I want to see the Knicks team succeed. I want some competitive games. I don't want to be bored come playoffs talking about, this is boring or it's a, sweep. I don't want to deal with that. I want competitive games. And quite frankly, I want to just see new champions. I don't want to see the same champions over and over again. I'm just saying. So definitely room for the Knicks, just seeing how, like I said, how they continue to play. But like I said, just want to, bring that up because, like I said, some people thought Jeremy Lin coming back home was going to be a big game. Another game to kind of look out for is the Spurs and the OKC Thunder, just for the main fact, Western Conference Finals, it's a little bit of a rivalry, old versus young, if you can watch it, hey, watch it. If you can't, watch it or hear about it on SportsCenter. Just wanted to bring that up. Once again, I hope you enjoyed today's segment of Sports Talk with L-Beasley. I hope that you enjoyed the show. Like I always tell all my fans, hey guys, if you guys want to have a topic you want me to discuss about a player, a coach, a team, an analyst, whatever the case may be sure to let me know. It doesn't matter whatever sport it is. Clearly something I generally discuss, but hey, at the end of the day, if you have a topic request, let me know. Always happy to honor my fan requests. If you have a show that you want me to be a guest on, so if you want to be a guest on your show, please let me know. If you go on my website, LaurenBeasley.com, you'll see that I've been guest on multiple people's shows, and I love being guest on other people's shows and networking and just, spreading my analysis and my knowledge around, just like I'm sure you do. So at the same time, if you want to be a guest on your show, hey, let me know. All my contact information is on the credits at the end. Speaking of my contact information, follow me on Twitter. I know some people ask me, do I have a Twitter? Yeah, guys. It's all if you watch the end of the show, you'll see that all my contact information is on the credits. On my Twitter, my Instagram, my Facebook. So friend me on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. Let me know if you, like I said, if you got a business opportunity or something like that, email me. Without contact information there too. So like I said, let me know what's going on. Also, go check out MoneyballSportswear.com. They are a huge supporter of Sports Talk with L-Beasley and myself, Lauren Beasley. So go check out MoneyballSportswear.com. You're going to love it because if you love Nike, you love Under Armour, you're going to love Moneyball even more. So go check out MoneyballSportswear.com. The only way to ball is Moneyball. I also hope to be making my announcement this Friday at the latest, maybe Monday, could be later, but at the end of the day, those are the 2 days I have planned. I say either Monday or Friday. Hopefully Friday, but if not Friday, it'll definitely be Monday. So hopefully I'll be able to announce my little big announcement soon. So once again, thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to leave me comments. I don't mind if you disagree, just don't be negative about it. So like I said, once again, be able to sure leave me comments, agree, disagree, let me know why. I'm trying to interact with you guys more. Definitely appreciate that, and I will see you guys hopefully. You guys know I'm always busy. I'm getting more busy. Hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. If not, see me when I see you.